We have a pair of prospect promotions to break down up next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5 on Tuesday, June 4th. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Scott White, and let's first talk about the Orioles, who promoted second base prospect Connor Norby, 23 years old, a former second-round pick from back in 2021. In 51 games at AAA this season, was batting .286 with 9 homers, 7 steals, and .884 OPS. That also came with a 31% strikeout rate. Scott, what are your thoughts on Connor Norby, the prospect? Should he be added in fantasy? Will he stick around? Your thoughts?
Well, as for whether he'll stick around, look, the Orioles could use an upgrade at second base. Jorge Mateo, even when healthy, is no great shakes there. And obviously they wanted to upgrade to Jackson Holiday. It didn't work out. Connor Norby has been a productive minor leaguer. The problem is he hasn't been productive in a way that I trust to translate to the majors. And you mentioned the 31% strikeout rate against AAA pitchers. That's very high, and it's especially high for a player who doesn't have like world-beating power. Yes, Connor Norby's power production has been consistently good in the minors, but the exit velocities are suspect, to say the least. And, maybe he does. Maybe you could argue he's doing the Isaac Paredes thing, where it's just the perfect spray ankle to get the most out of what power he has. But I don't think that's going to work playing half his games at Camden Yards as a right-handed hitter. Those exit velocities for Connor Norby: 87.5 mile per hour average exit velocity, 106.9 max exit velocity. Neither of those is good. Combined with the strikeout rate, I don't see it working out.
All right, well, let's talk about another prospect. And for the FBT OGs out there, you might recognize the name. A little bit different. A starting pitcher being promoted by the Padres, Adam Mazur. That's right, Mazur, not to be confused with Adam Azer of Fantasy Football Today, but very similar sounding names. He is 23 years old, a second-round pick in 2022, dominated in 6 starts at AA, then got moved up to AAA, where he struggled for his next 4, but overall, the numbers are pretty good. It's, a mid-90s fastball, apparently a really good slider. Scott, your thoughts on Mazur? And, I don't know, does this matter for fantasy right now?
I mean, the most fun thing about him is if you say you say his name the normal way we say a player's name, and not being very careful to pronounce each name individually from the other, it sounds like Adam Mazur. And so you're going to hear us talking about Adam Mazur for as long as Adam Mazur is in the majors. And that's going to be fun for everybody. Is he a good pitcher? I think he's pretty good. His control was especially good throughout the minors. Now, if you look at his most recent stint at, his last few starts in the minors, his time at AAA, ERA over 7 in 4 starts, but that's in AAA El Paso, an extremely hitter-friendly place to pitch. At AA, Adam Mazur had a 1.95 ERA. And while the strikeout rate is, it's just okay, much better swinging strike rates suggest there's more strikeout potential to be had there. And just given that he's entering a league that is really slanted toward pitching right now, I could see things going well for Adam Mazur. We've certainly seen less talented pitchers than him have success this year. So I'd keep an eye on him, if nothing else. I don't think he's a priority pickup except in really deep leagues, but I could see it working out for Adam Mazur. The control, if nothing else, is the big selling point.
Let's wrap up with 2 deeper league players and specifically hitters that we haven't really talked much about. Mark Vientos of the New York Mets might be a thing. He went 2 for 4 with 2 walks and his 5th home run on Monday night. He's batting .339, a 1070 OPS. He's lowered the strikeout rate. The Mets optioned Brett Beatty back to the minors, so it seems like Vientos has every opportunity moving forward. And Heliot Ramos of the Giants, back-to-back multi-hit games, a home run in each of those, and this is a former top-ish prospect in their organization. He's still only 24 years old. Scott, talk to me about Mark Vientos and Heliot Ramos. Anything there with these 2?
Well, between the 2, I'm most excited about Mark Vientos. I think he could be this year's version of Jake Berger, which Jake Berger himself hasn't managed to be. But what I mean by that is Vientos has always had the big power ceiling, the high end exit velocities, impressive power numbers in the minors, but he struck out too much to get to it, to take advantage of it. And strikeout rate in the majors so far this year, 20%. That's down from 33% in the times we've seen him previously. Small sample, but the Mets are giving him a chance here. They sent Brett Beatty down, and I think if you're looking for power from a corner infielder, it's time to take a flyer on Vientos. Heliot Ramos, which is spelled with an H, Elliot, is, it starts with an H. He has plenty of power upside too. Between the majors and minors this year, 12 home runs. You can't say that about many players this year with power being so suppressed. He has good exit velocity readings. His strikeouts have been an issue in the majors. Heliot Ramos, 33% rate, even though he's batting over 290, but he's started 22 straight games for the Giants. And again, he has the exit velocities to perhaps overcome a high strikeout rate. 5 outfielder leagues, I'd consider Heliot Ramos a lower priority than Vientos would be. Obviously, Vientos doesn't play outfield, but 5 outfielder leagues usually have a corner infield spot to fill. I like Vientos more than Ramos, all positions being equal, but Ramos at that thin outfield position is worth looking into himself.
All right. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Odyssey app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we will be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.